Good morning to you all. I'd like to welcome Major General Abhijit Bapad, Sena Medal, uh, MGSS. On the dais, Brigadier Rajguru. He is the chairman of the Regional Technology Node based at HQ Headquarters Southern Command. Mr. Harsh Gune, co-chairman of the MCCI Defense Committee. And welcome all to session 4 of Pune Expo. This will be on defense interaction and vendor development. So I'd like to welcome Mr. Harsh Gune to give the inaugural address. Welcome address. Yeah, sure. Oh, you can speak from there as well.
Good morning, Major General Bapad, Brigadier Rajguru, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to have the RTN representatives here, and we are at a stage where, well, if you look at the global scenario, in defense sector is possibly the most promising and area where country needs a lot of technologies. And we also have global relevance in terms of exports, in terms of leveraging our strengths to the global needs. And in fact, the globe is looking at India, technocrats here, the success stories here, and they are willing to collaborate, they are willing to associate with Indian companies. In fact, each and every major countries or power centers are very keen to associate with MSMEs. In fact, last 1 or 2 years, since I had the privilege of interacting through very critical projects, I could notice the eagerness to work with Indian industries. In fact, that is a big advantage and a big sea of change and an eye-opener. This is a continuation of MCCI's path-breaking initiatives to connect the armed forces, MOD representatives to the industry. In fact, MCCI, sir, had first ever defense committee in 90s to promote participation of private industries into defense. And defense procurement, like we were discussing, since 2014 or 15, has undergone tremendous changes. Of course, we still have a lot to do, we still have a lot to achieve, but considering the changes system has been able to implement is phenomenal. Within, let's say, 5 to 6 years, we see huge interactions with the armed forces. Defense is already talking about IDEX, technology development, startups, innovation. We've already had a significant progress in terms of banning the import list and encouraging private sector, medium scale industries to come forward and participate in the defense procurement. Pune, sir, is known to have technocrats. As they say, technocrats run the business here. And every nook and corner, you will find success stories, be it defense, be it automotive, be it any industry. And entrepreneurs are willing to invest on their own, and they have that passion demonstrated to come up to that challenge in the interest of the nation, or it is challenging their technical abilities. So Pune has those success stories, and we have been discussing to take it forward, form some kind of consortium where industries can come together, because it is time where we need to collaborate. We have had, let's say, business models where individually we could do business, but the opportunity is such that the consortiums would play a very vital role in times to come. In terms of the exhibitions, we see huge response year on year, and it is growing, and I'm sure with continued efforts of MCCI, you will have greater interactions, greater opportunities to interact. So in today's second half, there are vendor development sessions where you get to interact with the vendor development authorities of various companies. So exciting time for defense, where defense forces, as we have been discussing, we need different technologies, all types of combats are relevant. So we need huge technologies in defense, and I think Pune and MCCI both are correctly positioned to have active participation in defense. Finally, we have to remember when we interact with defense forces, one thing I keep telling at various platforms, what we are doing for defense is not for the armed forces. It is essentially directly, indirectly for us, because finally they are protecting our dignity, dignity of all the people sitting here. So they need very high-end technologies, the equipments which will run at that point of time, 100% accuracy for protecting, in fact, our lives and destinations. So we as technocrats need to remember this very small sort of an intent at all times. So thank you so much. Look forward to the next session.
Thank you, Mr. Gune. On behalf of all of us, I would like to request Mr. Gune to present a small moment to Major General Bapat. I'd also like to request Mr. Gune to present a small moment to Brigadier Rajguru, sir. We have many sponsors for our Pune Expo. So I would like to request Mr. Major General Ajit Bapat to present a small memento to one of our sponsors, Mr. Amey Kandakar from Bitmapper Technologies. Amey, please. So this side, this side. Thank you, sir. I would now like to request Brigadier Rajguru, sir, to tell us more about the regional technology node at Southern Command and also highlight some of the opportunities and challenges for the industry. Sir, please.
Jai Hind and a very good morning to all ladies and gentlemen here. It's been a proud privilege for the uniformed fraternity to be part of the proceedings and various events conducted by the MCCI. I thank the organizers and the MCCI for giving us this opportunity, sir. And in the next 20 minutes or so, I'll just introduce you to the concept of the regional technology node, Pune, that is referred to as, and what is the Army doing, what is the way ahead, what is the approach of the Army, what are our experiences, and what do we expect from each other. In case this awareness and this clarity is there, then I'm sure there is tremendous potential in all the three subsets which I'm going to talk about, and that potential can be optimally harnessed and synergized to make sure that we have what we require for the defense preparedness of our country. So the regional technology node, as its name stands, is a node which has been established at the headquarters Southern Command, Pune. Normally there is an ADB at the Army headquarter level, that is the service level. But this idea was to proliferate it down to the field army level. Southern Army is one of the biggest armies, the oldest army of the country, of the armed forces. It covers the entire peninsula. There are enormous opportunities for tri-services operations to include the space, the cyberspace, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. So all in all together is what we see. It covers 7 to 11 states and union territories, so as to say, as part of this entire gambit. And most importantly, all the best of the educational institutions and the industry is present in this peninsular region. So that is why the decision of delegating the work of the ADB at the field formation level was there. So what happens typically in a field formation level? We have the command structure commanded by a 3-star. We have a headquarter where we have reps of each and every branch and service available to give us specific, specialized, and generic advice. We have training institutions which can give us meaningful inputs. We have got all the types of user units to include tanks, guns, infantry, armored, paras, you name a service and equipment that is present out over here. We have the largest number of ranges, the field firing ranges that are available to us. So all in all, there is the user input that can be actually amalgamated into this entire scheme of things. By virtue of this, we are able to increase our awareness levels. We are able to understand the problem areas, the problem definitions as they are referred to. What exactly is the problem? Now, in case there's a problem with, say, a tank or an AD gun, then where do you go? The industry has not touched a tank, they've just seen in movies. So there is a place where we can direct that particular industry to go and have a look, feel, touch factor. Let them see the tank role in action. Let them see the tank being maintained. Let them see a tank being used tactically and strategically for various operations of war. And then he can understand that if I am being asked to make a particular component or if I have been told to innovate something, this is what it would mean. This is where I saw in the heats of Rajasthan in the desert how those soldiers were working on it, how the tank men were working on it, how was the AD working on it. So overall, when you understand the concept of employment, you are in a better position to provide solutions. So all in all, the Army has opened up its door with open policy, which says that anyone and everyone interested in the defense, design, indigenization, development of weapons, sensors, communication systems, of software systems, of mobility, counter-mobility, drones, anti-drones, whatever is required, including the station benefits, station facilities as such. Something small as, how do you dispose of your waste? How do you cater for water management? How do you cater for efficient power management? So all in all, it's an ecosystem. So the RTN will facilitate these kind of interactions with this nucleus body sitting at the headquarters. And we have got tentacles in each and every formation. So it's not that it's just concentrated here. It's widely distributed with an ability to connect wherever required. So we have centers in Ahmedabad, we have got in Chennai, we got in Bangalore, we got it in Hyderabad, we have got some units in Mumbai, we have in Pune, Bhopal, is already existing there. So what happens? Firstly, you've come to know what is the problem definition. You've come to know how to go about doing work, what is the kind of employment this particular equipment or weapon or sensor system is being used. Thirdly, you're getting ground feedbacks from the user by being with them. Secondly, in case you develop something, you get some positive, negative, all kinds of inputs for you to develop your product. Thirdly, you get to test and trial, evaluate it. Fourthly, in case you want to go for live field firing, the ranges are available, we can facilitate that. Fifthly, if there is a system which you have made and requires some firing or some ammunition, we will facilitate provision of ammunition. And lastly, to the mutually agreed upon terms and conditions of the trial directives, we can always evaluate with the tooth and comb as to what has happened, where have we progressed, where are we lacking, where do we need to work on, where is there a scope for development. Or probably have we reached a version 1 and probably now it's saturated, and then at some later point of time, after some breathing space, after consolidation, we can move on to version 2, version 3 and progress. We couldn't be classically making like what other countries, the developed nations which are almost 40, 50 years ahead of, we will catch up, but it will take some time. So that's part of the army. And lastly, the army facilitates, once equipment has been trial tested, evaluated, if it is found fit, then we spread the awareness to the army headquarters, to the ADB, and to all other formations and commands. So if you have tested and carried forward a particular project with us, then the whole Indian Army knows about this particular product, with its pros, cons, with its tech specs, with its tactical specs, everything covered. With a stamping and branding saying, yes, we have trial tested, it is good, okay, excellent, superb, whatever it is. Or these are the shortcomings, it can work with these kind of parameters or within this particular framework. So what does that mean? That means even if I don't buy that equipment, some other formation as in required can buy that. Because there is something which we have developed jointly here. You must understand the Southern Command mainly operates in the, say, semi-plains, semi-deserts, the deserts, and the run of Kutch area, that is the creek, the salt pans, as well as in the islands, Andaman Nicobar, those kind of operations we have dual tasking. And we do also have some roles where we can go to the high altitude, that's a different part. So in case there is some equipment which I have trial tested, evaluated, helped you build, but it may not be required to the desert or the salty pans or to the plains out over here, but it might be effective in the high altitude areas. So we can refer it them. So with this, you get a branding or advertisement, Pan India, the Pan Army. And people can buy either in bulk, if it is too good, but if it meets the requirement for a particular period of time, then we have got various funds and various heads under which we can buy limited quantities. And those powers are again have been distributed to the lowest level out over there. So that is what we do for you in case you collaborate and you stick with us. Secondly, we also conduct numerous joint exercises with the national, of course, it's their exercises. Like there's one exercise which is presently going on in the deserts of the Strike Corps. And a whole lot of industries have invested and given their equipment. Okay, sir, please, this is my equipment. Please take this. Please use this for this exercise. Give us a feedback. So that's already happening as we speak here today. And secondly, some chosen equipment is also utilized for multinational exercises which we conduct in the country. And incidentally, Pune is a hub. We have the foreign training node on and Belgaum within our area of responsibility, where almost on a year 2 to 3 multinational exercises do take place. So what happens there? We utilize this indigenously built equipment into our scheme of things. It is practiced, it is rehearsed, it is show cause to the foreign countries in the joint exercise, and the equipment is displayed at the end of that particular exercise. So again, you get a window of opportunity to announce yourself, to show cause your product at the international level as well. And there have been instances where this year, in the first half of this year, we had the African AFINDEX, that is the Africa-India exercise, where almost 26 countries participated. And at the end, for that particular finale, the chiefs of 26 African countries were present in Pune. So they saw all that, what indigenously made, how it was dovetailed into the army. And of course, you could connect with them one-on-one to sell your products out over. So that is the kind of benefits or platform the army is providing as on date. So this was as far as the army's role, the hand-holding, so as to say, can be spelled out. Next, we interact with the academia. I'll come to the industry last. The academia is what we are looking, because those are the places where I think the innovation, the project work, though we know that our country doesn't sustain or encourage high quality research, even till the later stages. The research, high quality, probably is found in the industries. They themselves carry out the research. But I think there is high time that we change our policies. We make sure that the educational institutions, the centers of excellence, so as to say, the IITs, IIMs, the various engineering colleges that we have, they also be a part of this process. We have got to catch them young. It will be too late by the time they age, they mature, they go to the US, they come back, they do something, they are fumbling something, they get into some big industry out to work for some time, and then suddenly he says, sir, today I'm in a position to innovate, but it's too late. Why not catch them young? So with that intent, we also interact with the academia at large. The way we attend and interact with you at these forums, we interact at the IIT and the engineering college level as well, to find out, even if it is at the cost of investing or wasting time to go and see what those college kids have, what kind of projects they have done. But we also find that amongst 100 things comes over there, at least 5 to 6% sparks are still there. And it's very heartening to see those youngsters, some second year students, some third year students, they have not even graduated in their bachelor's degree, but they have got wonderful ideas, wonderful innovative ideas which actually can be picked up. And they need to be nurtured, they need to be taken care of, they need to be picked at that particular time. So that is also one thing which we are not missing out. So we cater for the industry and incubation hubs also. Now, to this I will link that we also have been empowered with funds like the Indigenous Research and Development Funds. So we are at liberty to fund those projects in case they are of interest to the Army through the academic institution. So what happens? The academicians are there on board. They can partner with a developmental agency outside on their own, which could be an incubation, or it could be an MSCB, it could be an individual innovator, or it could be a whatever consortium or a group of companies. So, and the funds can be released through the IITs out over there. So, and there are no questions asked. It's based on that product, whatever is the idea, how we want to conceive. The facilitation or funding is for one development of one prototype, and of course IPR and other things always can be taken care of, not a big issue. So this is also what we are going around, increasing our outreach to make sure that the academia is well on board before it's too late. And lastly, the third most important pillar is the industry. It's the you people. You are the ones who have that fire in your belly. You are the ones who are willing to put in your effort. But that connect has to happen. And that's where I think these three pillars should connect together. Because the moment you work with those engineering graduates or innovators out over there, you also find a potential. We are able to synergize our efforts. You will be able to spot talent there and there itself. In case he is good, you can just pick him up the moment he finishes his graduation, post-graduation, or research, whatever he is doing. And he can be up and running because he's already worked on a project with you. You've already known him. So the academy benefits, the Army benefits, and the industry benefits. So I see this as a win-win situation in times to come. Now, there are two different verticals that we look at. One is the innovative vertical, where we are going to innovate things that we do not have in the Army. The Iron Dome, the aero missiles, the different kind of anti-drone technologies, the kind of loitering munitions, drones, communication systems, surveillance systems, artificial intelligence integrated decision support systems. So these are the niche technologies which, and some are in very rudimentary form, are available to us, but not available to the way we desire. So if we have some bright sparks, some ideas, it could be a consortium, it could be a group of individuals, it could be a single innovator, it could be the private industry itself who's willing to take it on. There is a place where you can interact with us. You can find out what are the requirements of the Army, connect with us, and that hand-holding mentoring program begins from there. And in case you are still short of funds, still we'll be able to fund development of one prototype. So with that kind of an opportunities available, I don't find any reason that our technical prowess, our national fervor, and our preparedness for the armed forces should lag behind. It's only a matter of time. Probably we are in the initial stages, we are just trying to connect, we are just trying to reach out to each other, we are in a phase where we are trying to getting to know each other. But the work actually hasn't begun. But someone had to do this work. And probably it's only a matter of time that we'll see that things will start moving. So those are the kind of projects which we are doing. Normally the problem definitions are published on a year-on basis. So the last one which was published in the Aero India show, which was held at Bangalore. So there are about 100 plus problem definitions that have been given. So it would be, it would be a good idea to go through those problem definition, find out what is your niche capability, what is your potential, what is the challenge you're willing to take on, and then come back to us. In case we see if people are already working on it, then of course it's already been booked. But if it's a critical technology, then we are also taking a route that let 2-3 innovators develop it 3 different models, and then we can see we can try and make the best out of it. So that's one that works. And secondly, we've got a host of legacy equipment with us from erstwhile Russia, Ukraine, and all other countries. The spares are not forthcoming. The equipment, probably the lines, the supply assembly lines have been closed down years back. We've not got new equipment, so obviously we cannot throw this one which is not in use. This needs to be resuscitated, this needs to be sustained, this needs to be maintained. So this is one of the critical problems that the Indian Army faces in particular. So towards that, we're also looking forward to indigenization of some of these critical spares as a spares or as a subsystem itself. So there is a department of indigenization, and we have got 2 of their branches, verticals here in Khadki with the base workshop out over there. And anyone who is interested in those particular spares and critical components which they find that they are able to do it, they can always liaise with the DSW, that is the Designs and Specifications wing of the Department of Indigenization. So they are competent officers with a nucleus staff sitting out over there. They may or may not have drawings. In case they have drawings and they decide to go ahead with you, they will share the drawings and help you facilitate development of a prototype, which of course can be then trial evaluated, tested, and in case found fit, then appropriate orders can be given. All in all, having interacted with the industry for almost about a year now, but I find that industry is looking at orders, industry is looking at economies of scale, and that's rightfully so. That's the rational theater for the industries to exist out over there. But please understand, the defense industry is not in terms of, having 3 shifts rolling over on assembly line where, one product at 90 seconds, churning out and being sold. The way defense equipment that is required actually is requiring, it could be a secondary or a tertiary kind of thing to put in. Your main business has to be something else, because you will not be able to sustain your entire facilities or your enterprise just at the behest of, indulgence into the defense sector. But of course, you will have niche technologies, you will have capabilities, you will innovate, and you will protect yourself by, giving quality equipment to the armed forces. Ultimately, we can fight. It is the man behind the machine, and we assure you that we are there to fight. We will fight till our last breath. But with what we fight is more important. So if 50% is our fighting in uniform, 50% you all are responsible to give us with what we fight. So there is a need to make, it amply clear that the equipment has to be the best. It has to withstand rigors of war. It cannot be plastics, it cannot be composites, brakes. It cannot be into that form. If I make this broom in this particular way, that if it has to break in 6 months, otherwise I'll be out of business. If I make a broom which has got such sturdy components that it is going to last for 5 years, then it doesn't work in economics. But here you will have to make a little bit of a kind of a reversal in your attitude, where you have to say that this, if he's asking for 15 years, I have to give it to him for 25 years. That should be your aim. This equipment should last to him for 25 years, though he's asking 15 years. That is the only way you can ensure that your army, I'm saying your army or your armed forces, fight there with tremendous confidence. And we all know that the Russia-Ukraine war, the Azerbaijan, Armenia, the present ongoing crisis in Israel, we all know. It's very easy to talk about wars, but let me tell you, the second, third day you will be looking back behind your shoulders for components, for repairs, for maintenance, for expendables, for ammunition. Even the biggest of countries are having problems. Let me tell you this. Things are not hunky-dory. So, if there is war, you will have to work double time. Probably you'll have to close down your profitable ventures and put your shoulders towards defense production where the army or the defense services will require it most. Let me give an example. Small things like the shells or ammunition, that is in shortfall in most of the country, most of the advanced countries. So the third, fourth day they are looking behind for supplies. So it is you who will have to provide that. And second thing, at the other spectrum, the example of Hamas is using, water pipe systems to make rockets and, normal drones, cheap drones to make into bombs and all that kind of thing. So it works both ways. So probably we'll have to draw a line in between. We can't be filling in TNT and RDEX into, water pipes and throwing at the enemies. Nor may we have the best of system like the Arun Dome. But then, of course, there could be a via media with the potential we have. We believe and we've seen there is no dearth of talent. There is no dearth of potential. There's no dearth of that nationalistic fervor and the motivation and spirit which when we interact with people. It's tremendous. What remains is just to connect these three pillars in the right sense to develop the capabilities for the future, for today as well as the future. In case you've got any questions or clarification on the functioning role, how the army is going to help you out, how the army is extending its hand. And at the headquarters Southern Command, like I mentioned, it's an open door policy. Typically on a week, we almost get 4 to 5 calls where various industries come. We encourage everyone. It doesn't have to be one who's making a missile or a radar or just a communication equipment. It could be anyone. There is no harm. We interact. We invest 1.5 hours to understand what does he do, how does he do, what is his potential. In case there is something to click, we connect him to the right people. We take it forward. We typically then ask him to send us material. We find potential that this product is good or his idea is good. We have in-house deliberations. We sit with a group of specialists. In case still we find, yes, there is something, yes, we can take forward, then we organize a presentation. We invite the people with their experts to come. We discuss their proposals. And in case there's anything else which we can take forward, then it's worked upon. In case it doesn't work out, it's okay. There is a meeting. He understands that, yes, the army is amenable. They talk, they interact, they share. That's good enough, because for us, when he goes back, maybe he speaks in his own forum out over there. He says, yes, there is one place in army, guys. He didn't turn me off. He didn't show me off, but he did entertain me. He listened to me patiently. He's taken down my details, but I found that probably, I make drones for spraying on the agricultural fields. But he told me, can you make this kind of a drone? Can you make that kind of a drone? Then I said, no, sir. I only require 15 liters of that chemical to be sprayed, and 1 hour is good enough for me. I charge batteries. I've got 3 batteries. But he's asking 20-kilometer range. He's asking for 10 hours of endurance. He's asking 500 kgs of a payload to be carried. Sir, I couldn't work out. But in case he says, sir, I have something. I buy these drones from such and such person, sir. I think he is capable. So we say, okay, please refer him to us. So see how the thing starts moving around. And that's where we are. It is at this curve we stand as of today. That just the awareness and the communication links have been established. Now, having said this, this cannot go indefinitely. I think there's an urgent need now to sit at the table, work out some low-hanging fruits so that we succeed in some endeavors, which increase the confidence, which increase our linkages, which brings in synergy. And once that is done, then probably we can take things forward as we move up the higher rung. And we are okay. The army now, as of now, we've changed our attitudes. We said, version 1 is also acceptable to us. Let's work on it. Let's try it. In whatever form, if it is acceptable, let's utilize it in limited quantities. And let's keep sharing feedback so that we can go up to the version 2, version 3, version 4, 4.1, and so on. So with that kind of a mindset, this is what I had to probably portray from the side of the uniform fraternity. Thank you. In case you got any questions, then I would be okay to answer. Yes, sir.
Country. And what is happening? What is happening? Our quality control department, he wants makhi pe makhi. He wants, when we suggest a better material also, they don't pass it. So my humble request is that unless engineering colleges and other people in the design are made together and an equivalent material that is available in the market. For example, if they say IS number, that is not available. If they EN 36, that is available. So in the drawings, unless we give the equivalent material which is available in the market, things will not move. I have seen jobs, free cutting steels, eye bolt was made, sulfur was 0.2. Sulfur is an impurity, but they rejected the job, sulfur is less. 23 years back, free cutting steels were there, CNC machines were not there. But today even quality control department is rejecting the job that sulfur is less. So we have to have a team of designers, engineering colleges, and see all the drawings, they are rectified. Even my friends, who are in vehicle factory, they are DGMs, I passed it, engineering 68. They say if Russian jobs are taken, even that does not match. Drawing does not do that. Changing our mindset. And if we want in 2047 we become developed country, then this mindset has to be changed.
Thank you for the input, sir. I can assure you that the policy and the mindsets are changing. We also understand, typically with the legacy equipment, we have an issue with these ghost materials. It's a very is being changed now. So what we are going to go for is that. And how does that utility come into picture is when we are the engineering services out over here, the ones from the EME, they will test, trial evaluated. In case it is found feasible, then we don't have to actually go through that entire check-off list, ticking each and every box. So ultimately, those are guidelines, so that particular product comes up you more sustenance and endurance. 110, 20%, it's of course it's fantabulous, but even if it is coming to 60-70%, it is acceptable, because we don't have it as it is. That particular tank or weapon system is going to, it's not going to work. Let's go ahead with it. We'll keep sharing feedback, and of course we can build up on the metallurgy or the elasticity of the metal or whatever is required. That can be worked out. So sir, let me assure you that there is a change in mindset, and a lot of policies as we speak are being changed. There are a lot of there in the pipeline, a lot of drafts made, a lot of deliberations happening, and your concerns actually have been taken care and will be taken care. So that I can assure you, sir. So in times to come, probably we can understand the frustration, but it's always that one has to take the step. So we are changing our policies. We understand the policy, DGQA, things are stringent, but we understand, we are possessed with the problem, and we are working on it. I'm sure you'll see a positive change. And in case there are any issues, you can go to the nearest EME workshop or base workshop over there, and you can always interact with them. They will be more than positive, and they will be more than forthcoming to come and interact and just check out what is the specs and write a report on those things. So that mindset has changed, and you will see a difference. That I can assure you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Just extending sir's point from there, can we have self-certification method? We make quality products. We will supply quality products to destination for all of us to reach.
Two parts. First part is self-certification. We trust you. We trust you with your life. That's why we're going to buy from you. There's no denying. But having said that, self-certification is certification. You have certified that, conform to our requirements. So that is one stage process. So stage one, your certification, 100% acceptable. But when life and limb is at stake, then My method is to get it trial evaluated and tested on field conditions. And you shouldn't feel bad about it. If you say, sir, my battery works for 10 hours, I have certified, this battery will not leak, this will do this, I accept it. But let it, whatever you have said, since you have certified, let us test it on ground. Even if it is coming 1 hour less, it's okay, I said. Let it be 9 hours, okay. So here again a piece of advice to all my brethren out over here is you must reverse the strategy of marketing when you're dealing with defense. Please reverse it. Under promise and over deliver. Whereas in marketing you do it the other way around. If you do this, you will be more acceptable. Ki, sir, my battery is working for 10 hours, but if it can work for 12 hours, nothing like it. But if for your 12-hour battery, if you're saying कि बेचने के लिए सर 15 घंटे चलती है, 18 घंटे सर ले जाओ, ठोक बजा के, फेंक के देखो. अगर फेंक के देखोगे, if you're going to throw it on a carpet, I can understand, but I literally throw it from a tank in a desert with 70 degrees temperature of the sand. Then let's see how much that battery or that component works. So your point is taken, sir. First step is the certification, and second step is the trial. Once my man on ground, the soldier, the tank man, the gunner, whoever, the driver, who is there, if he is convinced कि साहब ये ठीक है, ये चलेगा साहब, 50-60% भी ठीक है, नहीं तो ये गाड़ी बंद थी, अब इसकी वजह से गाड़ी चल रही, we'll accept it. So that's an assurance. Sir.
Am I audible? You know, just to answer your question, our conditions are very unique. I don't know how many of you have been to 17,000 feet or how many of you have been to the pure desert conditions, what the brigadier is referring to. And the wear and tear on equipment and human body is totally different from what you all experience otherwise. So kindly understand that in any kind of military grade equipment, without trial testing it, in those specific conditions, no armed forces of any nation will accept that equipment into service because it's a matter of national security. We cannot be second raters or runners up in war. Kindly make it absolutely clear. Self-certification, we honor your commitment, but without testing it, we will not accept any equipment. That's period.
A last question, please, otherwise we'll run out of time.
Good
Yes,
morning. My name is Rajiv Randive, Pixie Electric Cars. We have converted Gypsy to electric. And I take General Bapat's point here. It was tested at Nachna in the desert, and it can climb all the gradients there. It is recently tested also by Autocar, and they have certain test procedures that also it has passed. I think it is very suitable for high altitude because it will solve firstly the fuel logistics issue. Secondly, it will also resolve the startability and other problems which are associated with high altitude. And of course the power. It will not lose power. Gypsy is not supercharged or turbocharged, so it doesn't have power at high altitudes. And it can be used for other applications also. Now, one of the applications which came to my mind was a hyperbaric chamber. You can mount a hyperbaric chamber and drive with the electric power that is available. Or it has a PTO that can be used for, let's say, high pressure pump for de-icing. I was working for Mahindra, so I'm very familiar with what you do at high altitude. I have gone through all the tests. So I would like to offer this vehicle for different tests. The vehicle prototype is available, and we can offer the vehicle for trials. Thank you.
Thank you for the input, sir. We've been in touch with you, and in case we recollect, sir, we made considerable progress in your initial kind of trials that we have done. Should you want to put up your equipment for high altitude trials or anything, so you're most welcome. So there's just no issue. We'll connect you to the right people. Though we are in Southern Command, but I told you, we have linkages Pan Army, so we'll refer you to the Northern Army. Again, please understand that our job is to bring in awareness. Whatever is your equipment, we will, your literature, your whatever handouts, your presentations. Our job is to put it across to the people. Now the people have to buy those ideas, because we cannot be pressurizing people that you buy this just because I like it or you like it, because everyone has got a different job as far as the armed forces is concerned. And there are people who are specialized in all different kinds of verticals out of there. So we refer it to them out over there, and then ultimately the user is the king. We all know in all industries it is there. So let the soldier, let the driver in the high altitude area say, sir, this is good. This is not giving me starting problems. This doesn't have freezing problems. You know, it can still work without in the rarefied atmosphere. It can climb these gradients. When I put, snow chains on the tires, there is no loss of power. I mean, I'm equally able to do my job. So there are people, we will send it across. I mean, again, we will take it forward. So that's just not an issue. We will take it forward. We will refer it to the right people, and we will have it trial evaluated. But please understand, our reports are not sugar-coated. There is hardly any patchwork of padding, you know, rosy words at the introduction or conclusion paras. It will be, whenever we do these kind of things, it's a mutually agreed to kind of what you say and what we want. Some training directives are culled out, drafted. And it is against that, it's purely mathematics. Yes, no, altitude ranges, temperature ranges, tolerance, fidelity, this, that, torque, gradient, cross-country mobility. We've got issues, and I mean, it is there, it is there. Of course, one can look at it, कि sir, ये 4 बार से मेरा reject कर रहे. One can look at it, कि sir, I'm getting positive feedback. You can work on those small things here and there, and things can always be taken forward. So just not an issue. Please understand, again, the same example I'll give. What works in a 16 to 24 AC lab may not work in the battlefield. Here, you know, before putting up that demo, you're wiping it with choline 100 times with dust-free cloths and all those things and saying, sir, here it is tracking, here it is hitting. The moment I take you to some temperatures where there is haze effect, all types of sand blowing from all the countryside, there's, you know, hot winds flowing, the dunes cannot see, there is some precipitation in some particular patch where there's a clump of trees. I mean, power supply connectivity, that whatever we here try to put crocodile clips, it's slipping because the vehicle has gone cross country over some sand dunes. So there I can't have 2 technicians behind running around with clips, you know, trying to put and say, ki abhi chal gaya saab karo fire. And then your system takes time, say 3 minutes to boot. What will the enemy do to me till the time it boots, until he puts those crocodile clips? So these are all issues out over there. So these are prototypes, these are proof of concepts. But when it gets to a military gate, these are 2 different things. And there might be a proof of concept which you may not be able to take it to the logical conclusion of a military gate. It is quite possible. We should accept it, it's okay. But there is no denying that we will not try and incorporate. But it has to match our standards. A car running here on a 6-lane highway doing Mumbai in, say, whatever, 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes is perfectly fine. You put on a tank, you can't see the kind of pressures, the kind of weight it has got, the kind of ammunition it is carrying, the kind of fuel it is carrying, the kind of jerks it will face. So what do you expect? Will you get the same mileage? Will you get the same torque? Will you get the same sustenance? Which of your vehicle heats to about 70, 80 degrees plus inside the chamber? I'm not talking of a particular engine component which is water cooled or whatever cooled. What happens? And there are people who are sitting in the same temperatures. And if it is to fire the kind of jolts, it's going to get shocks. Which of your cars is going to stand there, you tell me? So these 2 things are actually different. So again, these are all perspectives, until unless you go and see. In fact, I was discussing the other day, we can look at some enterprising people being taken to forward areas just to go and have a look. You know, we would invite you for the RT shows and the armored core shows out over here, where actually, and in fact, all the foreign exercises also, we will make it some formal arrangement wherein we will invite you to actually see it, because you need to see it. Then only you will be able to give something what they want. So we'll take care of that. Thank you so much. It's been a nice interactive session with you. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I would like to request you to hand over another memento to one of our silver sponsors, Mr. Rohit Shinde, CEO of Bharati Share Market. So they are one of the sponsors for Pune Expo 2023. Thank you, sir. Sorry? Please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Just taking 1 minute because 30 seconds. I was sitting over there. It might find completely out of context, but I was really impressed with that idea that Army is getting connected with academics to encourage talents. See, what we can see everywhere in the flow of the development, talent is getting generated and it has been flown away. Like, it is always better to, encourage them on time. I'm really impressed with that, sir. Just to brief about the yellow Lego that you can see, we are really happy to get associated with MCCIA, which encourage, entrepreneurs to be give information about the Bharati share market. We keep on educating people. So what we can see here everywhere, money is getting generated, people are earning, entrepreneuring, okay. But there is a lack of, knowledge. When we check in the society, if you see that at the end of last 3 to 4 years, people are jumping blindly in the stock market. And there is very, high need now to educate people. So that is the activity. Of course, people keep calling Bharati Share Market as a company, but we call this as a mission because we all, as a group, have started, educating people right from the ground so that they can take care of their money from their own. Okay. So thank you so much for this honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Sir, one group photo, please. So after this, we'll continue with the presentations from the industry. So I would now like to invite Mr. Balakrishna Swamy, Chief Technical Officer of Defense Supplies, and he would like to present their outsourcing requirements for the coming years. Over to you.
Thank you, Prashant sir. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's truly a privilege to share the forum with the esteemed dignitaries. I am Balakrishna Swamy from Nibe Limited. I'm here to share the journey of a company which started as an MSME 2.5 years back. So as we have this MSME, the first time in our MSME certificate micro, we started as a micro company, Nibe Limited. In 2.5 years today, we are a BSE listed company with a thriving market cap. So yes, I would like to share the presentations with you. So Nibe Limited, we have 2 subsidiaries as on date. One is Nibe Defense and Aerospace Limited and Nibe E-Motors Limited. Our chairman, Shri Ganesh Nibe, going with the our Prime Minister's Atmanirbharta Bharat, he started this whole initiative. He started this journey 2.5 years back, and today we are where we are, and we are growing as well. So this is our manufacturing footprints. As on date today, we have 4 units. The one that you see here, this is Nibe 1, what we call. It's a 150,000 square feet company area. Again, Nibe 2, which is in Chakan. Nibe 3, which we just recently inaugurated last month, which is again a 240,000 square feet area, which is in Chakan as well. And Nibe 4, which we inaugurated last month, which is in Bangalore. It's in Devanalli, Bangalore. The current technologies that we have right now, we have cutting, bending, fabrication, automated welding, CNC machine, assembly and integration, blasting and painting facility. Right now, these are the software facilities we have in-house, which are a support to whatever mechanical activities that we're doing in-house. So we have right from Autodesk, SolidWorks, Dassault systems. For nesting, we have software plasma, softwares and all. I'm also very proud to announce that we have installed 16-meter VMC machine in our plant 3. On 10th of next month, a 12-meter and 14-meter is coming. So we have 15-meter, 12-meter, and 14-meter VMC machining facility. These are few snapshots of our machining facilities that we do. So the first one that you see to your left or to the right, it's K9 Vajra, the turret machining facility that's being done. In the middle that you see, it's a modular bridge. Again, to my right, it's Vajra hull, the hull machining that we're doing in-house. This is one of the child part machining facility that we have in-house, a VMC 3-axis machine with 2480C. At Nibe 2, we have plasma cutting, laser cutting, water jet cutting. This is all again 13-meter, 12-meter, 6-meter machining facility that we have in-house. This is one of the bending facilities that we have in-house. We have total 4 bending machines, and we can bend up to 16 mm in-house. Again, this is about our automated welding facility that we have. We have right from KUKA, Fronius, 7-axis, 6-axis, 3-axis machines. These are all installed in-house capacities. The USP that we have is, we have the welding facility. What we have done is we have created a training center in-house so that, we have qualified welders all the time available for this. The projects that we do, we need qualified welders. Specifically, these are projects that we're doing. A specific project is modular bridge. So for modular bridge, we need qualified welders. What we are doing is we are having those training centers. At this moment, right now, we have 479 qualified welders. And also this goes by our business strategy. Tomorrow if someone XYZ comes up, puts up the capex, but then he won't have the qualified welders to execute the projects. And that is where we are actually leading this whole game, I would say. This is about the blasting facility that we have in-house. We can handle up to 5,000 tons per month, blasting, painting, powder coating. These are few of the projects that we have executed. This one that you see on the screen is a BrahMos missile canister. The end customer was L&T. We had supplied this to the Army and IAF. This is again MRSM canisters. So I'll just quickly go through the pics for you. These are again MRSM cassettes that we have delivered to Army and IAF.